thought I would investigate the possibilities of turning my modular synth, which is normally an effects rack, into a drum machine. Just using the modules that I already have, none of which are drum modules. And I think I've come out with a kind of cool little thing, you know. It could be done better, of course, if you actually bought modules with this specific purpose. But I think it really does highlight the flexibility of modular, that you can just completely change up your rack. Oh yeah, that kick, by the way. So yeah, in today's video the plan is I'm gonna unpatch everything and then try and build it back up again to its former glory. So wish me luck and join me on the journey. Ooh. So I've ripped out all of my patch cables like a maniac, and I am ready to make a kick drum. So let's get started. I'm going to be using the BeatStep Pro today to trigger my drums. So the third sequencer on the BeatStep Pro is like a drum sequencer. It has 8 gate outputs. So I'm going to take the first gate and I'm going to trigger channel 4 on maths here. And to actually make the kick drum, we're going to be using the UVCF, which is an analog filter. And basically the idea is we're going to make it self-oscillate and then modulate, and that will make a pretty tasty kick drum. So I'm going to take the low pass output from the filter and put that into channel 4 of my VCA, which is the Tango Quartet. And if I just crank the resonance all the way up, and of course take an output from the Tango Quartet, we should have a sine wave. There we go. And the idea is that we're going to be triggering the sine wave using the BeatStep Pro and modulated by maths. So let's take the output of channel 4 into the cutoff frequency modulation. Yeah. And as you can hear, the sine wave is going on for infinity, so I'm also going to take this kind of second output of maths and put it into the VCA, and that should put an end to that. Now that's kind of a kick drum. It actually sounds a bit more like a tom, but building your kick drum this way gives you so much versatility. If I turn the cutoff down, right, we're getting really bassy now. To be honest, that is a great kick drum. Could put 4 on the floor with that easy. And you have a lot of control, so if you want to increase the tails and get those kind of 808 huge kick drums, see if you put some distortion on that, like this. Ooh. Yeah. You could also increase the modulation amount. Yeah, so you're getting those toms, those kind of laser zaps. And even messing about with the sort of logarithmic exponential control on maths here, you'll find different characters. Really a lot more snappy. Yeah. Oh, but the bass is so good. And that's why I love maths for creating the kick drum, because it is so snappy. So you kind of get that hard hit as well. So yeah, there's your kick. So snares can be a tricky affair, but you know, let's give it a shot. We're going to be using the MCO to create the snare, and we're going to be using noise. So let's take the output of the MCO and pop it into our VCA here. We have noise, and one of the cool things about the MCO is it has quite a variety of noise, from classic white noise all the way down to like the most digital noise imaginable. And another cool thing about it is, as you scroll through the waveforms, they kind of blend in. So it's possible to get that combination of noise and a sine wave, and that gives you a kind of note. And you know, a lot of snares do resonate with a note. So, you know, that's cool. And we're going to be using channel 2 this time of the BeatStep Pro's drum sequencer, and going into channel 1 of maths, which is going to be triggering basically just the VCA on this one. If I had another filter module, then I probably would use it here, and kind of in the same way I'm doing with the drums, with the kick drum, but I don't. So maths is going to be doing the VCA, and let's see what's going on here. Already, to me, that's a good snare. And if you don't like that note in there, and again, you've got a lot of control. You can get really snappy. Yeah. Let's change that kick drum. So hi-hats are generally quite easy if you have another noise source, which I do not. I've got this Chipz module that came with the nifty case. I thought it had noise on it, but it kind of doesn't really. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some hi-hats using my sort of snare patch here, and then after that I'll try and make some hi-hats with Chipz. So the snare, sounding cool. What I'm going to do is you want it to be more noise based. You don't really want the note coming through. And I'm also going to run it through the effects aid. I'll do that just now, because this specific algorithm has a filter in there, And I'm wanting to filter out the low end, basically. And from the effects side, we'll go into the VCA. And there we go. No low end. And I also want to make it snappier. So there is a very basic hi-hat. If I stick this down on the BeatStep Pro, do you know what? I'm gonna modulate that the fall on maths. That should sound cool. So just taking an output of Pam's using a random wave. Just to add some variation. Some bit crush, why not? So that's a basic hi-hat using just noise. Now let's see what happens with Chipz. I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen, but something will happen. So Chipz is a pretty interesting module. It's got two oscillators that are like the most digital things ever. I'm going to run it into the effects side and then over to the VCA. So this is chip 1. I should probably do a full video on this because I think it can get pretty mental. Oh, this is chip 2. That sounded quite noisy actually. Yeah, I think I might try use one of these sounds as... Let's turn that up. As my hi-hat sound, maybe that. Oh man, right, so for this one I'm going to use, because I'm all out of envelopes now, so I'm going to be using Pam's as kind of an envelope. Let's use channel 8 to trigger the VCA. Okay, I think that's, that's hi-hat, hi-hat like. So we're on output 8. Needs to be times 4, eh? There we go. would say it's not as good as my MCO hats, but it's acceptable. And there's still some tweaking you can do inside the MCO. You could maybe change the width. Make it a bit snappier. You know what, I'm gonna sync these two up because why would I not? Why would I not? So channel 8 on the drums has just got a kind of 4 on the floor sort of beat. I'm gonna put that into the clock. That's better. That is better. So we've got our basic drums here. All that's left to do is bring some effects in, i.e. the data bender. And to do that, I'm going to need some clock. I'm going to need some patch cables. Be right back. Okay, I have found a patch cable long enough to clock the data bender. And the reason I kept the data bender in as opposed to like a multi-effects, just I really like the kind of drive on it. Yeah. And you know, since I'm here and I've got another channel on my VCA and got another oscillator, I may as well get some of that on the go. You never know what to expect with this module. Yeah. Oh, that was cool. hope you've enjoyed this modular adventure today. Please leave me a like and a comment, etc, etc. Tell your friends. And I'll catch you all next time.